Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. My name is Victoria Pikowska. I'm the founder of Victory Art, and I'm very excited that we can have another of our great seminars together today. Today, we're going to have very interesting topic, which I personally did not see a lot around here. And that's the reason why I personally made the decision to implement this specific topic in our seminars. So today we're going to talk about how to implement art in interior design and how to start working with interior designers. And this topic is very specific because it's quite like in the middle. A lot of artists are very interested to work with interior designers, but at the same time, they don't really know how to work with interior designers. So today, I'm going to briefly run you through a few points you should be very much aware of when you want to really work with interior designers. So let's jump directly to it. Well, before we start, I would love to tell you a little bit more about our team, about Victory Art. So maybe you already know us from the previous sessions. And Victory Art is all about breaking stereotypes and building new perceptions. In general, before we start, make sure that you're mindful when others are speaking. Please keep your microphones off until your questions and answers. Be respectful and mainly have a great time. I would love to mention that these seminars are co-funded by the European Union. So if you're an artist who is looking for different opportunities, you have amazing idea you want to implement, or you want to just use one of the calls European Commission is offering to artists, definitely go and check out their tenders, their calls to open calls and other opportunities. So a little bit more about Victory Art. Victory Art is a company which is working with talented artists from Central and Eastern Europe. And currently we have in our portfolio around 120 artists. So if you're an artist from Central or Eastern Europe, do not hesitate to actually contact us. So today, we're going to talk about building relationships with interior designers. I would love to mention that this week we're going to have another seminar, which is called the Promotion and Sale of Artists and Their Artworks. And this seminar is actually hosted by our guest lecturer, GJW Gallery. So definitely do not miss this seminar because it's going to be completely amazing. I would love to as well mention that there was a small change and that we're going to finish our seminars on the 20th of December. So make sure that you're updated, and if there's another interesting seminar you would love to join, definitely sign up for the upcoming weeks. Here is the list of all the seminars we went through so far. So if you would love to watch these seminars again, you will be able to do it at victoryart.art. So right now, let's directly jump into interior designers and how to mainly build relationships with interior designers. So, interior design is a very interesting niche of working with, or of people who are working with artists. This can be a huge opportunity for artists, but at the same time, quite a big commitment. So today we're going to go through everything what's basically good and what's basically a little bit more challenging about working with interior designers. So first things first, how artists can work with interior designers. Well, you have to really think from a perspective of interior designers. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. So first things first, you have to understand that these interior designers are really sourcing a wide variety of products. So from, let's say, starting from interior decors through floor, let's say curtains, choosing the right colors of a specific room. So it's like a really wide variety. So in terms of this, they really want to satisfy their clients. And your job as an artist, when you want to work with interior designers, is to really start thinking like, okay, so this interior designer has like a specific style she's working in, and this is kind of what clients she has. So let's think about how my art can fit in the interior and whether the art can. One of the great things is that you really go to a portfolio of the specific interior designer, and you check, let's say, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, website, Google reviews, different references, and you basically see like whether your style of art is something what's very similar to the style of the artist, of the interior designer. So in terms of the way how they're thinking for their clients is that they literally look for something what's perfectly right and like really sits in amazingly in the room of their clients. So their goal is to really create this kind of atmosphere, vibe, where their clients come and they really see, like, sometimes it's mock-up, sometimes it's like the finalized product, and they want this wow factor. So when you enter a place that you're really like able to say like this artwork was perfectly made for this specific place. So in terms of let's say this specific picture, when you check this specific picture, you can see one of our partners, actually by Flip, who chose one of our artists to exhibit in their interior. This process took a few months, and basically this process was actually kind of collaboration between Victory Art and at the same time the restaurant. And basically when owners saw the result, the artworks which actually arrived and we installed it, the owner was very astonished and told himself like, okay, so now I feel like we're a real restaurant, because it made so much difference in that restaurant. It made so much impression. So when you check it out right now, I don't know if you can really imagine it, just empty walls, but when you see this picture, it really comes across like, oh, okay, so this was perfectly made for this specific project. And so really think how the designer can satisfy the client. So let's say you can maybe you are already in touch with some specific designer and you want to really start building the relationship with them, or with her or him. So and you are already like in a discussion, just ask them directly, ask them like, hey, what your client is looking for. Is there some client who is currently interested in art? How we can make things work? From my experience, it's always good to provide interior designers with small commission. To be honest, I have to be very straightforward here with you. 10% is for them not enough. In art business, it's slightly different, right? We know that 10% commission is quite a lot, but the way how they're usually working with different furniture companies is that they get like 30% commission from sale of a specific furniture to clients. So they are usually already like, they already know the supplier or majority of the time before they even start projects. So in these terms, I would say that maybe the financial motivation is not that interesting for them in terms of art. However, you can motivate them in different ways. You can motivate them in a way that you say like, hey, I know you as an interior designer, you have a specific vision, what to implement in this project. And me as an artist, I want to help you to implement this project in your interior or in your client's interior. How can I help you at this point? So start thinking in a way how to make it easier for this specific artist. For the specific interior designer, like how you can be the one artist they go to, because you make their life simpler, you make their vision come together, you make the artwork real, you make just their life so much easier, because they can rely on you that you're going to deliver what you say, that you're going to deliver it on time, that you're going to deliver it in the perfect quality you said. So just think about these things. Another thing is that this is what I already mentioned, that you have to be quite flexible when you want to work with interior designers, because they already have some vision for the space, and that vision might be different from yours. In spite of the fact that I understand that you as an artist, you have your artistic expression and the way you're doing things, but sometimes it might not be the good fit for the interior designer and for their projects. So in that case, you really have to be flexible. You really have to discuss it proactively, discuss it with interior designer, like what's the idea behind specific project and how you can, let's say, be willing to change, let's say, colors, size, or maybe use different technique to make it work for a specific project. So if you're a person who is not really okay with working in commission or on commissions, and you kind of feel like, okay, so, well, I'm not that flexible, I have my style and I don't want to adjust to other people, working with interior designers is not good for you. Don't do it. But if you're a person who is like, oh, I'm looking for opportunities or challenges and I'm actually looking for myself as an artist at this point, then go for it, because it's going to be perfect challenge and you will see where it goes. I actually want to specifically say and mention one designer, Meg Miller, who's as well as an artist. So if you want to look her up, definitely have a look at her interesting projects. But we wanted to include a small part here about what she's talking in one of her interviews. And basically, she's saying that she really likes to support her local talents, but she doesn't go to galleries because she knows that it's much more expensive, it's overpriced, but she directly talks to artists. And she usually finds them through Instagram or Facebook. She researches them, then contacts them, and start discussion and start like discussing the commission. So this is another way how you can think about interior designers. They're looking specifically for something what's basically fitting their vision. So this is the reason why it's important to be on the social media. I would not really say, to be honest, Facebook, but interior designers are often on Instagram and Pinterest. So in that case, it's definitely great that you have the online presence, that you are out there available for to people to explore you, to people to see your portfolio for different things. Okay. Well, if designer is looking to get to know more artists, of course, they're gonna start on social media. So, for example, like Meg was already saying that she's specifically looking at Instagram and Facebook. I'm not 100% sure if that is really the right source even nowadays for the interior designers. I already mentioned it's rather Instagram or Pinterest. And the more things you're gonna mention about your art, you're gonna show your process, you're gonna be talking about various things like why you chose specific colors, why you chose specific technique, materials, and other stuff. This can really help to basically make this connection, this much more quality connection between you and designer. So if you want to really work with them, try to do your research, try to do research about very used hashtags or keywords on social media for designers, and this will definitely increase the chance of you landing a client from this industry. Another thing is that sometimes people are asking, why do I even need art in home, right? This is quite funny thing, and to be honest, it's still slightly underestimated by many people having art in their homes, but this really allows them to put part of their own soul in their homes, encouraging as well discussions when people are coming, and mainly making welcoming emotions. In my home, I have art almost on every single wall, even multiple artworks on the wall. And I have to say that when someone comes over to my place, they feel like they're in a small gallery. They love walking around my house and just explore and check different artworks and start asking about artworks. This is quite like a small cute thing addition, but in terms of implementing art in home of a person who is not really an art lover, that can be quite strong selling point. So if you do plan to work with interior designers, this is some selling point you can use. This is something what you can talk about on social media just to ensure that they will get more interest in your art. So another thing what I want to mention is that we're right now comparing statistics from year 2008. These statistics are not as relevant, of course, anymore. It's like 14 years, but I just want you to compare the different amounts in different industries, and then you can just conclude what is interesting for you and what are opportunities there for you. So in 2008 in the USA, there were 6,600 art galleries. We already discussed about having collaborations with art galleries. We discussed limitations, challenges getting to art gallery, what might be positive for you, what might be negative, but you already have some idea. In terms of interior designers in USA in 2008, there was 71,700 interior designers. And majority of these designers, they use artworks. Some of them sadly use posters, but majority of them use artworks. I'm not saying that it's every single client, it's all the time. No, it's not like that. In our company, we have experience with interior designers. I can tell you that sometimes they use, sometimes they don't use. Sometimes clients want to choose themselves. Sometimes interior designers basically tell clients, I'm gonna choose for you. You're gonna say yes, no, but I don't want you to put your own artwork, otherwise it's gonna mess up the design. This is well what how interior designers think. So this is another strong selling point for you, how you can open the door to this industry and how you can make it work with interior designers. So really, if you think about the fact that let's say you would start working with maybe 10% of these interior designers, 717, right? Yes. So basically, no, 7,170 interior designers. 10%, that's still quite huge number. Let's say 5%. So it's half of it. So, but let's say you're gonna start working even like with 1,000 designers, and you start building relationships with them. If every single designer buys from you at least like once in 2 years, imagine how much work you would have as an artist. Imagine how much artworks you would have to produce as an artist in order to really work with this amount of interior designers. It's amazing. In terms of getting to galleries, that's a little bit tougher. We already discussed it. But and of course it's a little bit more limiting, but it's really up to you what you prefer. But just start thinking about different aspects of art industry and how you can make it work with different kinds of people. And mainly what you can do for these designers. You really have to be flexible, as mentioned before. You have to make their life easier, help them solve the problem, and work with them, not against them. So if they have a vision, then do not hesitate to make sure that you discuss this vision with them into depth, and that you're gonna find like a perfect balance in the cooperation. Another thing, I already mentioned social media like Instagram and Pinterest, but on the other hand, it's always good that to basically have your online art portfolio where you publish your artworks and you're able to adjust it, keep it updated, and and basically having just some place where they can see your works, get to know you more, get to know your art, the process behind. Nowadays, it's a hot topic being sustainable. So if you're a sustainable artist, make sure that you mention it. And in terms of portfolio, make sure that it's really good, because they're gonna show it to their clients. They're gonna be pitching you. So your portfolio has to be amazing in order to make it work with interior designers. So make sure that your art inventory is organized, that it's up to date, and that they can see as well your top picks. So make sure that you, like, the best thing is that you as an artist have three kinds of artworks. The most exclusive ones, most expensive, very complicated technique, let's say very specific brush stroke, middle range, and the cheapest one, or like most affordable one. If people are not looking for something super exclusive, they usually go for the middle option. So it's up to you how you can play around with these clients, or like with their perception, in order to ensure that this is going to be in your advantage. Well, now we're in the part where you can ask us anything. So you can either put your questions in the chat, or you can always unmute your microphone and ask further. I would love to mention again that on Thursday, we're going to have another seminar, which is going to talk about promotion and sale of artists and their artworks. This is going to be guest lecture by our partners from GJW Gallery from Poland. They're as well law experts. So if you have any questions in these terms, you can always reach out to them. And I would love to as well mention that starting from the 2nd January onwards, for the whole year, we're going to be providing artists with the consultancy sessions. So I put here QR code where you can already book your session now. If you're interested, feel free to do it directly. If you're not interested, and maybe you will be interested some other day, just make sure that you scan the QR code, that you're going to save the link, and that you will be able to discuss with us all your challenges. And now, if you don't have any other questions, I would love to say thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for supporting us. And I'm looking forward to see you on Thursday. Have a great evening.